السلام عليكم أعزائي طلبة المرحلة الثالثة، وياكم أستاذ مساعد بيداء حسين. محاضرتنا لهذا اليوم بعنوان Occupational Hazard in Dentistry، المخاطر المهنية في طب الأسنان. Occupational hazard can be defined as a risk to a person usually arising out of employment، والخطر المترتب من العمل في. Dentists are exposed to a number of occupational hazards. In many cases, they result in diseases and disease complexes. Close contact with the patient with their saliva and blood exposes the dentist to occupational biohazards, mainly of contagious. We have different types of occupational hazards: the biological health hazard, physical hazard, and musculoskeletal disorders. Additionally, we have hearing loss, also the hazards from the radiation exposure. This is for both the patient and the dentist. Additionally, the stress. The biological health hazard constituted by infectious agent of a human origin. It includes prions, viruses, bacteria. A dentist can become infected either directly or indirectly. Directly by microorganisms that can pass through a cut on the skin of the hand while performing a medical. And indirectly, this is by the aerosols of saliva من الرذاذ المتطاير من اللعاب, gingival fluid, natural organic dust particles, dental caries tissue mixed with the air and water. Now we are talking about the physical hazards. What are the sources of physical injury? First, we have the debris from the oral cavity striking the eyes. أنطيكم مثال إنه لما نقوم بعملية تنظيف الكالكولاس باستخدام السكيلر ممكن إنه تطاير فد particles من الكالكولاس وبالتالي hit the eye or striking the eyes. Secondly, we have the puncture wound from the needles or other sharp instruments. Additionally, we have the continuous and mucus exposure to blood and skin. Now I will talk about the chemical hazards. One of the materials that is considered as a toxic material and for both the patient and the dentist is the mercury. Mercury has the potential for continuous occupational exposure of a dental practitioner to mercurial vapor, which can be absorbed via the skin and lungs. ممكن أن يتم استنشاقه من الرئتين أو امتصاصه من خلال الجلد، ويعتبر هو مادة سامة إذا تكون بتراكيز عالية. Mercury, it is advisable how we can control or prevent the toxicity or how we can control the toxic effect of the mercury. It is advisable to conduct regular mercury vapor level assessment in clinical setting, receive individual amalgam blood level tests, and use goggles, water spray, and suction during the removal of old amalgam restorations. We all know that gloves and masks form an integral part of dentist protective equipment. The gloves and mask form an efficient barrier. تعتبر فد حاجز فعال against the infection and of the most pathogens. They also constitute a very good barrier against viruses provided they are intact. They may also be a source of allergies. يعني على الرغم من أنه تعتبر فد هي بارير وتستخدم for infection control، لكن أنه ممكن أنه تعتبر كسورس of allergies. بها حالة this is the continued use of the powdered natural rubber latex gloves and disinfectants has predisposed clinical dental work to hand dermatitis, contact dermatitis, contact urticaria, and allergic dermatitis. Another material that used in dentistry and has a harmful effect is the cyanoacrylate. Cyanoacrylate has a variety of dental application as adhesive اللي هو يعتبر مادة لاصقة تستخدم في لصق الكراون، أيضا في لصق البراكت في حالة الأورثودونتيك تريتمنت. The increasing use of cyanoacrylate in dentistry has raised concern regarding its potential toxicity in human. Although the reported toxicity of the cyanoacrylate is uncommon in the dental workplace, but they manifest as conditions such as urticaria, contact dermatitis, and other dermatoses. على الرغم من انه صح التوكسيسيتي مالتها ما تعتبر كلش شائعة، بس ممكن ان تؤدي الى هذه الكومبليكيشن. Dentist staff using cyanoacrylate adhesive should avoid direct contact with the cyanoacrylate. Additionally, maintaining higher levels of humidity with optimizing room ventilation. ممكن انه واحد انه يستخدم التهوية شلون باستخدام الفلترز المرشحات using special air conditioning filters in the working environment may be useful in minimizing the toxicity of volatile cyanoacrylate adhesive. Now I will talk about the musculoskeletal disorders. We all know that at work the dentist assumes a strained posture، يعني ياخذ فد وضع كلش إجهادي both while standing and sitting close to a patient who remains in a sitting or lying position, which causes an overstress of the spine and the leg. This figure illustrates that about 70% of the dentists suffer from the musculoskeletal disorders. The overstress negatively affect the musculoskeletal system and peripheral nervous. Additionally, we have the hearing loss, the noise of suction, saliva ejector, turbines, engines, amalgamator, compressors, etc. may cause impaired hearing. Still, some dentists may be at risk, especially where faulty or older equipment is used. يعني استخدام الكمبرسرز ذات الأصوات العالية with loud voices ممكن إنه يؤدي إلى إعاقة في السمع. بالوقت الحاضر هسه إنه كل تقريبا أغلب الكمبرسرز المستخدمة تكون هي with silent sound، وذلك كخطوة لتقليل impaired hearing أو لتقليل الكومبليكيشن الناتج من النويز مالت الساوند. Now we will talk about the radiation exposure أو إنه الeffect of the radiation exposure. During an average radiological examination, the radiation dose received by the individual is generally low and relatively few cells are damaged. Thus, the effect even low the level of exposure to ionizing radiation over periods of time may accumulate and could represent a potential hazard to health. على الرغم من انه الجرعة في عملية اخذ الاكس راي الاشعة للبيشنت تكون ذات جرعة قليلة، لكن يكون تأثيرها تراكمي بمرور الوقت، يعني يكون تأثيرها irreversible، وبالتالي over time راح يأثر على صحة البيشنت. Dental staff should take steps to protect themselves during exposure by standing behind protective barrier, using off radiation monitoring badges, and regular equipment checks and maintenance. Health risk in dentistry may arise as new technologies and materials are developed. However, once identified and recognized as risk, new guidelines, precautions, and protocols are often rapidly instituted to greatly reduce or even eliminate the occupational hazards. How can we control the infection? This is by proper handling of potentially infected materials. Barrier techniques include gloves, masks, protective eyewear, high power suction and good ventilation to reduce aerosols and vapors. Hypoallergic non-latex gloves are proposed can decline latex allergy، وذلك باستخدام gloves اللي يسموها latex free، انه تكون latex free و non powdered اللي هي تسبب عملية الحساسية التحسس للجلد. في مجال الاكس راي how can we prevent radiation hazard? This is by having lead aprons with the periodic maintenance of the X-ray machine and radiation level sensors. Now, how we can prevent the musculoskeletal disorders? This is by identifying the symptoms as soon as they become apparent. Consider ergonomic features for dental equipment. Modifying the work condition to achieve optimal body posture. Achieve optimal access, visibility, comfort and control at all. And finally, thank you. أنا حبيت إنه تقريبا بكل نهاية محاضرة إنه أخلي فد كويز بس عملية تشجيعية حتى هم نخليكم تركزون بالمحاضرة إن شاء الله ويانا، وإن شاء الله بالتوفيق.